On the area of grass that you're going to have to mow, it's important to do a further risk assessment to identify any hazards that are actually on the site, not necessarily associated with machine. We've already discussed moving blades, loud noise, and the dangers that can occur with petrols and fuels and flying debris. On the site itself, however, there could be other problems. There might be things like dog poo that you don't want to be running over. There might be rocks and stones that could become projectiles if you were to mow over them. There might be just overhanging branches that could, be eye pokers or whatever. So you need to have a good old look at the site before you begin to mow. It would be normal in an assessment to have an area of site marked out with poles or whatever, so as you know the constraints of the assessment. I'm just going to mow a 5 metre by 5 metre box today, just to give you a hand on how to do it. So the first thing you need to do for the examiner is have a good look over the area and make a big pantomime show of looking over the area, and maybe bending down and picking a few bits up. When you're happy that there are no hazards on the floor, or you've marked things like drains and manhole covers and things like that, you can then think about starting the mower up. I'm just going to crack on with this now. So I'm going to start the mower up and then stop it first of all, just to ensure that the stop works. I'm then going to mow by cutting all the way around the area that I'm going to mow twice. So as I get not just one swath but a 2 swath frame around the area, and then I'm going to systematically go up and down the plot with my wheel slightly overhanging the previous run to ensure total coverage and to avoid those mohicans that can occur if you try and overstretch it. So I'm just going to crack on and do that right now, and then I'm going to talk to you about what I've done. Going to alter the height of cut. I started my mower up to actually do the work, I dropped the deck. So effectively I lowered the cut by making the deck closer to the ground. You do this by adjusting the wheels on a rotary mower. On a cylinder mower, you do it by adjusting the front roller height, which will give the sole plate, which will lift or lower the sole plate from the ground. So it's a different method of lifting and lowering the cut. When you're mowing grass, you should always take 1/3 of the grass blade off. So if maintaining at 20 mil, you should always mow the grass before it gets to 30 mil, thus removing 10 mil, i.e. 1/3 of the grass. And increments therein. This is why bowling greens that are kept to 5 mil are mowed every day, because they'll grow a couple of mil every day and they need just mowing to keep the health of the grass by only removing 1/3. What I did there then was I went around the area twice, as I'd already said, and then I boxed off the area by going up and down in systematic bouts with a slight overlap. Okay, I'm now going to take my mower to the wash off point, which will be our compost area. I'm going to empty the grass box and clean the mower off before I return it to the shed. If there are any issues with the mower, I would report it to my line manager or put a tag on it and say mower in need of repair, and leave it in the quarantine area of the tool shed.